Hello! Today we have just a little thrift haul, and by little I mean it's actually pretty big. So over the past couple of months I've been thrifting quite a bit. I also was on vacation, so I'm not going to hold myself accountable for, for everything I bought while I was on vacation. Um, Normally I try and, only really thrift things that I know I'm going to use. But like I said, this is over the course of a couple months, so there's more stuff here than I would normally just get in one thrift trip. And I'm going to break this up into different sections just because, like I said, there's kind of a lot. So let's start with the books. So this is my stack of books. I can barely hold it. So I was on vacation in the UK, so we stayed in London, and we also took a little trip to Paris while we were there. And in London there's a really cool secondhand bookstore. I will put the title somewhere here. But I was able to get a couple of pretty cool things. So this castle book. I found this, it doesn't have the dust jacket, but it's a Laura Ashley like home book. So it goes through all of her interiors, which I really love because I love interesting and like vintage inspired things, which if you're familiar with her clothing, that's also something people like to collect. And I have a couple of skirts that are vintage Laura Ashley. So this was really cool. The cover is also really cute. And then it's actually behind me here. But they had a section that was just like vintage guidebooks, which I thought was really interesting. This one, I just love the cover and the back cover. It's for Windsor Castle. I actually haven't read through the inside, but there's some cool pictures and history and stuff like that. And then when I was back here in the States, I also got a couple of books. Oh, sorry, actually, this one I also got in the UK, different store. The House in the Cerulean Sea. Heard that was pretty good, so I just picked it up. While I was back here, I found a guidebook for Art Nouveau and Art Deco jewelry. Which, side note, if you're tired of seeing a lot of AI things when you look up references online, which I know I am, go to your thrift store and try and look for books like this, because they have really cool pictures and information, totally AI free, because this is from 1987. I also found an Egyptology book, which I just had to get it because, I was an ancient Egypt kid. I'm sure many of you may relate. It's really cool. It has some little like interactive things, and then it has a bunch of stickers in the back, which is really cool too. This is definitely like a kid's book, but I don't care. And then the last one is this amazing art reference book of painted ladies. So those Victorian homes that you see that just have like amazing details and painting, and they're painted very beautifully. So this is really cool. And these were all, relatively cheap. I think the most expensive was the Laura Ashley, just because that was a really big book. And yes, I kind of regretted getting it to have to fit it in my suitcase, but we made it work, so it was all good. Okay, next up is jewelry and like little trinkets, and don't worry, I'll do close-ups for all of these. We'll start with London. So we got to visit an actual like flea market, like antique market, which I was really excited about. There were a couple of tables, and by a couple, there's actually like a lot. It was mostly just tables of jewelry, and specifically they had like, this one booth had like 3 6-foot tables that were just covered in brooches. and they were only £1 each, which is like a little over $1 in USD. So of course that was the one I was looking through, and we didn't have a whole lot of cash, so that was kind of the perfect opportunity. I found 2 brooches. So the first is this mother of pearl like anchor. Really cool. It's definitely, I would say, antique, or at least vintage, but I do think it is antique. It has the name of a town in France carved into it. So it was probably like originally a souvenir from there. I also got this other brooch, which to me looks kind of late Victorian style. I do think it is antique, just based on the way the clasp is made. And like I said, the style, I have no idea what the metal is. It's not marked or anything like that. But it's really nice. And yeah, like I said, they were only £1 each. So I got those 2 for £2. And then the last thing I got was this little button hook, mother of pearl handle. I don't think it's silver, it's not marked, but this was $4.50. It was actually, she asked for £5, but I didn't have, like I said, we didn't have a lot of cash, so I was like adding up the coins that I had, and I was like, would you take $4.50? And she was like, okay, and I just kind of handed it to her, and she took it, so got to do a little bargaining. And then back in the States, we have a couple of bracelets. These are like natural stone bracelets. I actually really only wanted the one, but it was just a pack of all 3 for like $4 or $5, I think. But yeah, they're all really nice. I think it's rainbow tourmaline, but I'm not an expert, so who knows. And then this is really amazing. So this is, I think I actually got this before we went to London, so this was quite a while ago. But it's this vintage, like 70s metal mesh necklace. It's really amazing. And the brand, the reason why I know it's actually vintage is because it has a Whiting and Davis little stamp on the end of the chain, which was a brand that made these types of necklaces. They made like entire like shirts too with this material, and also like purses. So if you've seen those type of like mesh coin purses that were, you know, popular in the early part of the 20th century, that was this brand as well. So these are not cheap, but yeah, I just found this at a thrift store. I don't think they knew what it was, so really cool. Okay, we're almost at the clothing, but I have one more thing before we get to that. So some of the thrift stores in my area, they also do like silent auctions. And I saw this bag. So it's leather. It has this really cool like print on it, which is like a little prairie scene. The brand is Patricia Nash, and these are, again, not very cheap, but I did kind of spend a lot on this. Well, at least a lot for thrifting, in my opinion. Like I said, because it was, you know, with the auction. So it was $45. But again, I think for what it is, that's pretty fair. But yeah, it's just a really nice purse. It's got like a couple of compartments on the inside, zipper on the back, just like opens like this, and I've already got some stuff in there. So this will be my new main bag. So now we're gonna move on to clothing. Okay, so most of the stuff I have is dresses, except for this and the pants that I'm wearing, but you can't see them from here. So this I actually got at an antique mall, but it was very cheap. I think it was like $18. This is an antique, I believe it's a corset cover, so this would kind of go over all of the layers during the Edwardian time, and then that would go before you put the final like blouse or dress over top. But you know, if anyone knows more about that, all of the steps of Edwardian dress, you can let me know if I'm wrong about that. But it actually fits, which is crazy. And I've been trying to find one of these for a while, and I just happened to come upon it at this one booth that had a couple of antique pieces. So really excited about that. I will briefly show you the pants that I'm wearing because I also thrifted these. They're just wide-legged pants. So have pockets, which is nice. And now we're going to move on to the dresses. So the first two dresses I'm going to show you actually came from Paris, which I didn't think we were going to have time to really thrift in Paris just because we were there for such a short amount of time. It was really only like a day and a half. But we just happened to pass by a Gary Sole, which I'll put a picture of it here. But if you ever see one of these, if you're traveling in Paris, it's a thrift store. So I was like, can we go in? We only have like 15 minutes. And I just immediately ran to the dresses because I really wanted to find these kind of like patchwork, really maximalist dresses that were popular in like the early 2000s, like 2010s. I think people consider it to be like Euro fashion. I'm not sure what they call it in Europe, but I was like, if I can find one of those, then that would be amazing. And I found two, and they were only €3 each, which is like a little over $3 per dress. So I was very happy. This is the first one. So again, it's got that kind of patchwork style. And this one fits me really, really well. So yeah, €3. The second one, this is actually the first dress that I found. I was really, really excited about it. So I'll do a good close-up of this because all of the details are just amazing. So it's a tank top, but I actually removed the sleeves just because they didn't look good. The rest of the dress I loved, but the sleeves, like, they just didn't look like they fit right, and it, you know, wasn't cute. So now I can wear this with any blouse underneath it, which I really like. And yeah, again, €3. Crazy. So like I said, we were only in there for like 15 minutes, and I found these two, and I was just like freaking out for the rest of the day because I wasn't expecting to really find anything or even have time to go into a thrift store. That was just the luck of the day. The thrift gods were on my side. And then thrifting in London, you don't find as much vintage, in my opinion. I mean, they do have vintage stores and things, but I like the true thrifting experience where you just go in and have to look through a million things to find like the really good stuff. I think it's just because the stores are smaller there, but they do have a lot of like nicer, like higher end, newer things. And I happened to find this dress. Sorry, it's really wrinkly because I just actually wore it yesterday. But the brand is Wise London. And it's denim. It's got like patchwork. It has pockets. Really nice quality. And I got this. It comes with a belt as well, so you can wear it with the belt. I like wearing it with like my stays, like corset over top. I think it looks really cute with that. But this was £10, so that's like around $13, I think. So a little more expensive than like maybe a US thrift store, at least in my area, but still, you know, really good. And it was even better when I looked up the brand because I had not heard of this brand. And this dress was originally like $400 or something. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, we're in the home stretch for clothes. So I just have two more dresses, and then the last category is going to be shoes, and I just have two pairs, but the last one is the best, so we'll save that for last. I got this dress. This was new with tags from actually like a new thrift store that opened up in my area. which turned out to be pretty nice. So this brand is Lola Australia. These are, you know, not too cheap either. Really cute. And then this one, this is like kind of a dream dress, honestly. This was probably like $7 or $8. I can't even like really show it. I'll show, you know, obviously in another clip, the full glory. But it's this amazing patchwork dress. Unfortunately, this does not have a brand, so I can't tell you what the brand is. It just has a content, like fiber content tag. So it is viscose, which is good because that means it's not like, you know, just polyester, which I would not have liked as much. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, what else can you say about this? Look at the sleeves. Like, what? Sorry, I lied. The last piece of clothing. It's just this corset. It's actually like really substantial, especially in person. You can tell like it's not like the cheap Amazon corsets that you sometimes find in thrift stores. So the brand on this one is True Corset, Playgirl white label. I don't know if Playgirl is the brand and then True Corset is where you can buy it, whatever. But it's actually steel boned, so this is like good quality. So this will be really cool. It actually, I tried it on with that dress that I showed in the last clip, and it looks really cute with that, so maybe that'll be an outfit. Maybe I'll just put these together when I do the try on. Okay, we're down to the last two. So they're both shoes. So the first pair is this pair of boots. These are waterproof. Actually, they still have the tag. The brand is Sorel or Sorel. I don't know. But this is not a cheap brand. These are, you know, pretty expensive. I was a little worried because they're a 6.5, and I'm normally a 7, but I can fit into a 6.5, and these seem to be, you know, big enough. So I think they were 15. It was from a Goodwill, so, you know, they jack up the prices on things, but still, that's a really good deal. And then the last pair of shoes. These are not for me to wear. These are only for display. And you'll understand why in a second. Yeah, they're Victorian antique boots that I found at a Goodwill. Like literally it was a Goodwill. And of course that means they wrote all over the bottom, but it's fine. You're not gonna see the bottom. So they're missing one pair of laces. This side does not have the laces, but that's okay. I think what I'm gonna do is stuff them with tissue paper, and then maybe I can like condition the leather a little bit just to make sure it doesn't like crack over time, because these are in, like, honestly in my opinion, like remarkably good condition. There's a couple of little scuffs and scratches in the leather, but other than that, like honestly, if these were able to fit, you could probably wear them a little bit. Just that's how like strong they feel, which is really cool. They've got, you know, the brand name. They've got writing on the inside. I guess that's maybe like the serial number or whatever. But it just, I have no words for these. And again, this was, since it was a Goodwill, they were $15, but for what these are, that is like so cheap. And I was actually eyeing a pair of these at a vintage or like an antique mall, and I think they were like $60, which I thought was a good deal. But now that I have these, I don't need to buy those. So that's pretty much the end of my thrift haul. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your favorite item was, or, you know, if you've ever gone thrifting in Europe, what are your favorite spots? Did you think it was better than the US? I was only in one thrift store in Paris, but I thought that was really, really good, especially because of how cheap everything was. Even when you do the conversion, it's like way cheaper than the Goodwills here, at least. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to join the Thrift Quest, you can hit the subscribe button. If you want to leave a comment, that also helps, you know, boost the algorithm a little bit, or give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Bye.